Jesus said this in Matthew 6:33, but seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things that we need, the things that we really desperately need to survive, will be added to you. Therefore, do not be anxious about tomorrow, for tomorrow will be anxious for itself. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble. I love that verse. If you break it down, who does Jesus say to seek first? If you go back to verse 33, it's obvious. It's not a trick question. Who do we seek first? God, right? God in his kingdom. God in his interests. God in what he's about. That's who we seek first. And then after that, what does he say to do? Verse 34, what does he say to do? Do not be what? Anxious. Do not worry. Do not fret. Do not fear. Don't worry about tomorrow. But have you ever paired those two thoughts together? Meaning, why should we not worry? Because we all struggle with that. Why should we not be anxious? We all struggle with that. The reason why we don't need to be anxious is if you've done the first part of the verse. So if you've sought him first, there is no reason to be anxious. Now, if you seek him second, if you seek him third, if God's like kind of in the middle of your priority list or maybe the last thing that you think about, then you've got some problems. Now you've got to be anxious. But when you've sought God first, there's no reason to be anxious because you know who's got tomorrow. You know who's holding tomorrow in his hands. If I could put it like this, tomorrow has a lot of problems, but it also has the promise of God's presence. Isn't that good? Wouldn't you say that's true? Like you got things tomorrow on your agenda that are staring at you, and this week's got some problems. Next month's got some problems. Next year, guess what? Got some problems, right? We all got problems. They're coming. They're going to be there. Jesus even said, in this world you have trouble. You're going to have trouble. He even said it. But isn't it comforting to know? Isn't it freeing to know that while tomorrow has a lot of problems, here's the one thing it also has. Jesus. Jesus is always in tomorrow. Jesus will always be there for you. He'll always care for you. He'll always love you. He extends his grace to you. Isn't that freeing to know that despite all of my problems, and despite all of your problems, despite all of our seemingly lack of resources to meet those problems and to meet those needs, that God is the one who holds the future in his hand. Here's why I love that truth. I wrote this down. God's promise of his presence tomorrow should bring peace to my problems today. God's promise of his presence tomorrow should bring peace to my problems today.